Genesis. Team, away we go. .1030, 92 miles an hour for Warner. 1068, 122 miles an hour for Greg Gay. Now, Pat Fox is driving Eris Historian's car. You know, I could do an AMX. That'd be a fun project. I call it Indy Cylinder Head and build like about a 700 horsepower, you know, AMX and just smile. Watch the Bounding Beagle, man. He stood this thing up last time. Merrifield in the truck. See if he's still got it set on fly. If you're down track, inspect the oil pan for me, would you? He's going to show it to you. And that wasn't as high as earlier. It's not easy to do that with one of those things. What you got to do is take the tailgate off, fill it with lead, and then put it back on. 1027, 126 miles an hour. And a 1051 at 123.4. Al Smith, Hemi car, 1 second under. He's number one. Bruce Riley sitting in the number 2 spot. That'd be that BOD. Actually, that's the Chevelle. That's the 71 Chevelle. Jerry Hatch in the Dodge. Then it's Brian Warner, Ed Schrader, Joe Hartline, Don Bell's Guy Desjardins. That's your quick 8. You want to be in a quick 16, you're going to have to run better than 68 under the index, because that's what Steve Sparago did. Looks like we got super gas at the ready line. We need top dragster, Tommy Tape, top dragster. Say that 3 times fast. We need you into the staging lanes, please. Bill looks like he's going to hit me with a chair if I don't get out of the way, so I'm going to get out of the way. Here come the 990 cars.
Thank you, Mr. Reinhardt. Give you a little bit of a break here and answer a few emails, stuff like that. All right, here we go. Super gas. First pair up, it'll be David Scott, the 27 Ford Roadster, taking on Darren Wood and his 67 Chevy 2. Big block, 632 cubic inches of Chevrolet power for Wood. All to try to do 990 index racing. Tommy Tape, top dragster. Need you to the lanes, please. Top dragster. The Tommy Tape top dragster to the lanes. 991.8 for Scott, 995.4 for Darren Wood. All right, so I've seen a 2000s package in Super Comp. I've seen a 2000s package in Super Street. Let's see what we can do about a 2000s package here in Super Gas. Mike Handress taking on Max Starks here. Starks, the Camaro, first generation Camaro, 565 cubic inches of Chevrolet power. Handress and his Bickle built car. Big block Chevy 215, 615 I should say. He's out of Brooklyn, New York. The goal here, 990 index racing. Andrews at 004. Let's see what he can do on the 990 index. 989.8. 4,000s on the green light, 2,000s under the index. Problems for Guy Hansen. Looks like second time that we've had to back him up today. And it'll be a single run here for Larry Antonellis. Boy, Antonellis hits that satellite hard there. Let's see what he can do on the 990 index. Did a 994.9 in the first, 10.10 with a 9. Will not. He'll stay on that 994. All right, next pair up. The 55 Chevrolet coming up. Of Steve Paquin out of North Kingstown, Rhode Island. Good take on Ray Sawyer. The Sun Impact number 5, 2002 Camaro. Look at the list of accomplishments for Ray Sawyer. He's a 5-time Supergas World, the 05 Supergas World Champion. He's a 2-time Division I Supergas Champion, 6-time National Event win, 8-time Divisional win, and a 2-time D1 Jags All-Star rep. Taking on Paquin. Paquin finished number 2 in the New England Dragway Supergas program here this season. Trying to do that 990. Sawyer 004. $992.3 for Sawyer, $991.7 for Paquin. Stan Wadowski coming up right now, the 68 Chevy 2 Nova out of Union, Maine. Taking on Chuck Rothermel out of Kinhook, New York. He's got the 2001 Pontiac. Big block 565 Chevrolet. Identical 031 reaction times here. Coming down to the index. Let's see who can do it. 987 for Rothermel. Just a little quick there. 1005. Speeds it up there for Wadowski, but he'll still have to pick it up just a little bit further to get it into the 9s. Ian St. Pierre will come up right now. 57 Corvette Roadster taking on Kevin Robb and his 63 Corvette Roadster. Pierre has a 555 Chevy power plant. Rob says, hey, I can do that 10 better. 565 Chevy power plant. Multi-time winner for Rob in the Supergas competition. Which Roadster takes it, gets there first? 992.4 for Ian St. Pierre. 988 with a 4 for Kevin Robb. Rich Grenier will come up right now, the 33 Roadster, Mopar powered. Could take on Bob Pace, the Magnum Force Barracuda, the New England Dragway Supergas champion this year. Trying to take that trophy and add another one to it this weekend. Pace pretty much ran away with the competition this year. 995.9 for Grenier, 1010 for Pace. Pace will stay on the 992.6 from round 1. Bracket car for Grenier, only 2,000 separate both runs. Rich Price to take on John McClane. No, not that John McClane from the movies, but John McClane from O'Leary, Prince Edward Island, Canada. Going to take on Price in his 04 Corvette Roadster out of Royersford, Pennsylvania. Pretty good list of wins here for Price over the years. Let's see what he can do here. 993 puts him on the good side of the index. McClane ran a 991 in the first round, runs a 1007 here in round number 2. You want to talk about a nice looking 57 Chevrolet. You got Barry Ribeiro here, retired 70-year-old, taking on Tom Goldman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, a chassis builder with his 58 Corvette Roadster, GM powered. Let's see who can do the 990. It will be 993 for Ribeiro, 986 for Goldman as he creeps up just a little bit closer to that 990 index. Oscar Olt coming up right now. Don Davis chassis. Going to take on Dennis Allen, the Innovation 70 Nova out of Sayville, New York. Old to 994 with a 0, 1067 with a 3 for Dennis Allen. Rick Stroud will come up right now. O'Reilly Auto Lane, 27 Roadster out of Douglas, Ontario, Canada. Going to take on John Puliak. His ride to the track was not as far. He comes out of Rochester, New Hampshire, the welder pipe fitter, 94 Beretta. Top Dragster, Top Dragster. If you're not already there, you should be. Top Dragster, you should be in the lanes. Tommy Tape, Top Dragster. Need you in the lanes, please. Better Let Go to the Roadster with an 014, runs a 92 with a 0. Puliak and the Beretta a 92 with a 5. Jeff Keogh to take on Frank Tertarion. It's easy for me to say, isn't it? Tertari Nowatz. To Winowitz. Easy. Tatranovich. All right, there we go. Sorry if I mess up the names here. 989.3 for Tatranovich. 988.9 for Keogh. Charlie Kennepick taking on Iggy Bochesko, the 2017 Corvette Roadster ATI Performance Product sponsor, taking on the 63 Corvette Roadster of Kennepick out of Renfuel, Ontario, Canada. Bochesko 1001, Kennepick 991. Next up, Jerry Pierce, Ted Leahy. Leahy excavating the 95 Oldsmobile, the old Warren Johnson performance parts car. Yes, dear. Starting at 5:30. So just go do some shopping, have some dinner, and be home. Probably. All right. All right. Talk to you later. Oh yeah. All right. All right. Bye. Leahy there, 991, 986 for Jerry Pierce. Kevin Carey to take on Ken Bowers, I should say, 57 Roadster, Corvette Roadster, taking on the 27 Roadster of Carey out of Colebrook, Connecticut. Dodge powered for Carey there, 995.5 For Kerry, Bowers 991 with a 0. Next pair to be Jason Kenny out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. The Jags.com Hoosier Select sponsored 03 Corvette Roadster, taking on the 67 Camaro Roadster out of Hyde Park, New York of Al Owens. 987.9 for Kenny, 988.5 for Owens. Doug Marshals will come up right now, 64 Corvette out of Canton, Maine. He'll take on Charles Yannetti out of Alpine, New Jersey, the 27 Ford Roadster, Chevrolet powered. .984 in first qualifying session. Marshall's a 964. 990 is the index. .1009 for Marsters. That's slowing 1422 for Yannetti. Justin Lopes comes up right now out of Lakeville, Massachusetts. The first generation Chevy 2. Big block 632. Select Trans Incorporated, an M&T sponsor, taking on Ed Alessi's 63 Pontiac out of Bethpage, New York. The Select Performance Incorporated sponsorship, PC Richard, on that 63 Pontiac. Chevrolet powered, 615 cubic inches of Chevrolet under the hood. Lopes 001 on the red. Alesi 006 on the green. 992.7 for Alesi, 989.1. Missed the reaction time by 1 thou. Missed the index by 9 thou. Easily fixed. And it looks like our last vehicle here will be the 1984 Omni, Dodge powered out of Jay Sapelka out of Ripon, West Virginia. Lists as being retired. Could be the last one here. $990 with a 6. It'll be really nice, as it'll be for qualifying. Unfortunately, he'll look at that reaction time, 6:46, but on a single pass. All right, well, looks like we're going to do a little bit of track prep here as we get ready for Top Dragster. All right, so it looks like we're just going to do a little bit of track prep, do a little spray here. Getting ready for Top Dragster.
Couple of laps of sticky stuff out there on the racetrack before we get into the top dragsters. We'll fire them at you. We'll fire the top sportsman at you, and then we're going to Lebanon Valley. Track sprayed, signal given. And let's see what we got here.
Power scales.
796 feet of density altitude. It's getting better again. I'm trying to remember the last time I was at a racetrack for an entire day and the density altitude never got over 1,000 feet. It has been a while. We've had a couple of days at Gainesville where we started out below sea level, but we still ended up being 11 or 1,200 at some point during the day. This is better. Lets everybody get a little bit of a comfort level. Lets everybody get a tune-up. Lets everybody get dialed in on the numbers. Richard Jameson on the left side. Bob Attila on the right side. The Midnight Sun car didn't get down to the first session. Frank Zaffrino, the big kahuna, sitting number 1 with a 6:14. And you got a little bit of a window if you want to try to sneak in there and be number 1. Just a little. Remember, you can't run under a 6:10, so I'll puff out of the pipe down there. 6:57. 2:04 for Rich Jameson. 6:76, 198 for Bob. So Bob will sneak onto the front page now in the number 13 spot. 6:57 for Richard. He's number 7. Frank's still number 1. Got to run better than 6.80 if you want to be one of the cool kids and make the front page. That's Sean Fournier, and a matter of fact, that's him in the left lane. And he's got 680 on his dial-in board. And he's got that 572-inch big old Dodge with a big old bottle behind it. And over here on the right side is Paul Neal out of Everett, Massachusetts. 661, the number on his dial board. He went 667 earlier, so maybe he's predicting an improvement. I can see into the future. I am going to improve. What would you rather have if you were given the choice? The ability to fly or the ability to see into the future? I mean, flying would be pretty cool. Paul hiked the front end and it moved left out of the groove. He took his foot off the throttle. 682, 195 miles an hour for Sean. Sean slowed a couple of hun from earlier. Paul slowed a half an hour from earlier. How about Paul? He ran 9.902. I don't think we're going to give him a Super Gas trophy, though. Now it's Brandon Miller and Joe Wallace. Joe out of Sarge's Auto Body. The Never Satisfied 2, and I've told the Never Satisfied 1 was his junior car. Well, if he wasn't satisfied with that and he ain't satisfied with this, what's next? Alcohol? Okay. Pretty soon it'll be a rocket car. Never satisfied, and I want more. Remember, rocket car with a turbocharger. I never thought of that before, but think how fast a rocket could spin a turbocharger. You might have a little bit of a issue keeping it bolted to the back, but we could use a Wiggins clamp maybe. Hey, Top Sportsman, attention in the pits. Top Sportsman, come on down. We need you now, please. No, I think a Wiggins clamp would hold it. Almost positive, as a matter of fact. 703, Brandon Miller picks up from his 713. Not going to move him a lot of spots because we got a lot of 6-second players out here. Joe Wallace goes 686, and that is now 19th best. I said we got a lot of 6-second players. We got 21 6-second players. We have 31 cars that have taken an official time. That's David Anthony in the left lane with his bottle-fed big block, and Deb G. Genova out of Derry, New Hampshire. What is with Derry? I've seen a couple of towns that are something Derry, something Derry. It was like one of the early settlers named Sir Frederick Derry or something like that, and they just named all the towns after him.
The first potato came out of Derry, New Hampshire.
The first potato came out of Derry, New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Do they have a potato festival every year in Derry, New Hampshire?
No, they don't.
They should.
The biggest thing in Derry is called Business School Academy. And that's about all there is to Derry.
But there's more than just Derry, right?
There's Derry, there's London Derry.
Isn't there another Derry? I thought there was 3 or 4 of them when I was driving in last night. Deb G. Genova is blistering the front half of the racetrack. 677.
The dairy's where they keep the cows.
193. That's the wrong Derry. How did you ever get? Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot who you were married to. I was going to say, how did you ever get this far in life? But I remember who you married. 673 for Dave Anthony. 202 miles an hour. Dave just came up and told me Derry's where the cows live. I said, no, no, no. Here's Fred Perkins. Now, Fred didn't get down the racetrack earlier. That's that Pro Charge car. You might remember him. He was too quick. Val DiGenova over here. Out of Dan Page's and Butcher Machine. O'Reilly's side of the racetrack. Fred goes. 626 at 175 miles an hour. When do you think he shut that thing off? 800 feet, 900 feet. It was going 185 at the 8th. But he got himself on the safe side of the number. Now he'll be up dialed 610 in round number 1. Perkins goes to the number 4 spot. Val DiGenova goes 676 at 194. What kind of guts would it take to dial and race like that? Dial 625 and just shut it off at 700 feet and close your eyes. You would drive the 230 mile an hour guys crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's the Chris Garrison plan, only in Top Dragster. Dave Petrovsky on the left side for Glick Fire Equipment. And Alvis Safari, the Dan Page car. How did Al get the day off? Oh, Dave? Don't worry about it. It's not really him. It's Bob Moravitz. What was his name? Holy smokes, did that thing leave hard. So Floyd Lippincott goes 662, and he moves all the way up from 31 to 10. 692, 193 miles an hour for Al. He slows a little bit and gets bumped a little bit because Dave went around him. That was the old story back in the early days. A guy by the name of Bob Moravitz, whose family did not want him. No way, no how, no shape was he supposed to go racing, so he became Floyd Lippincott Jr. His name was in all the papers, and then finally his picture was in the paper, and somebody said, hey, that's not Floyd, that's, oh, what's his name? Who's calling me? I'm busy. Now it's Nick Maloney, TT Motorsports. And it's Brian Corey, the Power Technologies machine. Also from Derry. How many top dragsters live in Derry, New Hampshire? I didn't think that the town was big enough to have that many haulers in it. It's not that kind of dairy, Dave.
They got a lot of cows.
How about Nick flying the front end out there? That was a loud car. It scared me. 669, 197 for Nick. Jumps up to the number 14 spot. Now you got to run 676 to be on the front page. Brian Corey goes 671, and he's number 15. The Big Kahuna is still number 1. We now have a grand total of 24 cars in the 6s, and then 3 in the 7.0s. Doug Forbes. That's that really loud car that scared me. The big old blown big block. And Rebecca Miller. For Miller Motorsports. Now see, there's an original name. She is qualified at 685. He is qualified at 656. We need Tommy Tape Top Sportsman into the staging lanes, please. $663, $210 for Forbes. Not bad, not better. $685 for Rebecca Miller. Couple of thou better, but not enough to move her out of the number 21 spot. Val DiGenova holds on to the number 16 spot for the quick half of the field. Frank Zafiro is still in the number 1 spot. Here comes Gary Kobe and Bill Silva. We're going to do this dairy thing. We're going to do this dairy thing all weekend, right? D-E-R-R-Y, dairy. That's another loud, scary car. It's another really loud, scary car. I probably should take that. That was my accountant. 710, 186 miles an hour on one side, 684, 200 miles an hour. Craig Mashad, the Atlas Drilling team, and Scott Hall. Scott, who I bumped into while I was out strolling around, said, man, this thing wasn't supposed to go 617. Got it rich, got it soft, got it slow. It also said it was making a noise in the top end. So they did their due diligence and checked everything. Said, I haven't found anything wrong with it. The classic nutmegger for the Moroso dude. Oh, we got loud, scary cars coming up again. .622, 217 Scott, 623, 219 Craig. I'm telling you, those loud cars scare me. Scott's going to stay number 2. Craig's going to move up to number 4. The big Kahuna is still number 1, and here comes the aforementioned Kahuna. Jim Dunn on the left side. In the altered, Frank Zafiro on the right side. The big Kahuna. For those of you who don't speak Spanish, that would be like El Grande Kahuna. What? Went 614 earlier. Let's see if he tries to slam the window a little bit and get even closer to that 610. Jim Dunn's car stood up, slammed down, broke the front end, and pancaked the wall. 614 again for Frank, 228 miles an hour. But Jim Dunn, when he hit the gas, that thing stood up, slammed down. You could see it folded over the front suspension, at which point he had no way to steer the car, and it came across the track and smacked the right-hand wall. That's the best thing you can ever see in a situation like that. After the tall wheel stand, the hard landing, and the smack on the wall, he climbs out. But he was absolutely along for the ride after that thing stood up and came back down and folded up all the front end. Great to see him climb out of the race car down there as it's parked along the wall. We'll have to take a minute and clear the racetrack. It's one of the scary things, especially those short wheelbase cars that make big power, and that thing makes a lot of power out there. You know, once it came up, and not a whole lot you can do about it. Ease off the loud pedal, and it came crashing back down. So glad to see that he climbed out. We'll get it loaded up on the flatbed, clear, and we'll get back into it. Top Sportsman, Tommy Tape Top Sportsman, need you. Into the staging lanes, please. I'm going to go see if I can find out the real history of Derry, New Hampshire, and not the Dave Moan version of the history of Derry, New Hampshire. Word from down there at the scene is that there's no liquid, nothing out of the car, and it was pretty obvious what happened after that thing slammed back down. Just great to see that Jim was able to climb out of the car under his own power.